Cain and Abel. Now that the pleasures of paradise were theirs no more, Adam and Eve found life completely changed. Daily, they experienced hard work, anxiety, and pain, and these afflictions were to last a lifetime. Hope, however, raised their spirits, so that amid these bitter sufferings they could still look upon God as a loving Father. His promise remained. If they were true to him, they would always enjoy the blessedness of his loving attention. There came a day when Adam and Eve had great joy. A child was born to them, the first child born into the world. Eve said with awe and wonderment, "I have given birth to a child with the help of the Lord." Later came more and more sons and daughters, and greater grew the numbers that peopled the earth. The Bible continues with the stories of two of these children who were singled out for our study and instruction, Cain and Abel. They were brothers, quite opposite in character and in the work that they did. One had a good heart and trusted in God. The other was wicked and had lost all respect for God. One was a shepherd, the other was a farmer. Adam and Eve instructed their children regarding their obligation toward the Lord God. And so it happened one day that both Cain and Abel offered a sacrifice to God. They gave something as a gift to God. Abel's sacrifice of a lamb was pleasing to God. Why? Because Abel's heart was good. Cain offered the fruit and vegetables of the earth, but God was not pleased with Cain's sacrifice. Why? Cain's heart knew sin. Cain became downcast and was filled with jealousy and anger against Abel because God had preferred Abel's sacrifice. So God said to Cain, "What does this anger mean? If your actions are good, will they not be rewarded?" But Cain put aside God's gentle warning and invited Abel to go out with him. When they had reached a spot away from home, thinking nobody was watching, Cain turned upon his brother and killed him. Of course, the Lord God was watching, and the Lord God called to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" "I cannot tell you," came the insolent reply. And then, trying to cover up his guilt, Cain asked, "Is it my job to keep watch over my brother?" But God is all-knowing. God could not be deceived. And the Lord said, "What have you done? The blood of Abel has found a voice that cries to me from the ground, and now cursed are you in the soil which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the soil, it shall not give its fruits to you. A fugitive and a wanderer you shall be on the earth." Cain acknowledged his sin. He knew he had done wrong, but he had no sorrow for it. Despair filled his heart, and he said to God, "Guilt like mine is too great to find forgiveness. I am cut off from your protection, and anyone I meet may slay me." In spite of Cain's hardened wickedness, God placed a mark of protection on him. This mark showed that God's mercy was still open to him. He still belonged to God. God had said, "Whoever kills Cain shall pay for it sevenfold." It is necessary to mention again that we must try to understand the stories of the Bible, especially the stories of the beginnings of man, according to the recent studies approved by Holy Church. We have always considered Cain and Abel as the immediate sons of Adam and Eve. They were sons of Adam and Eve, but only in the same way that we are all sons of Adam and Eve. The description of Cain and Abel as a farmer and a shepherd belongs to a period much later in the development of man than the time of our first parents, Adam and Eve. The mention of them simply links the advanced stages of sin to its source, the family sin, the original sin, the fall, which is each person's inheritance. This story makes true the words of St. Paul, who is writing many years later. He said, "Through one man, Adam, sin came into the world." As time went on, fewer and fewer of the sons of God were mindful of their Creator. Most men were slaves to Satan and were bent toward evil. The story of Cain's murder and his consequent fear of the evils that would befall him after his sin is a way of picturing to us how strong and unchecked was the leaning towards sin and lawlessness. Humankind was hardened in sin.